Hi, I am Deepak from Reliant Institute of Oil and Gas. So today we are going to talk about hydrogen sulphide. So what is hydrogen sulphide? How it is having safety issues while working in the oil and gas site like a refinery, drilling site, or any petrochemical processing unit, etc. So what is this gas and why we have to know about these gas, so that we can save ourselves when we are working in the oil and gas projects or site. So this also coming under the oil and gas safety. So like wherever we do drilling, refinery, then petrochemical plant, processing unit, okay. So what we are going to discuss is what is H₂S and how when we inhale the gas. H₂S is hydrogen sulphide gas, and when we inhale or when we are exposed to it, so what are the effects we have? Then risk of fire hazard, because it's also an explosive or inflammable gas, so explosion, fire hazard. Then even that has a effect on metal, pipeline, vessel, something else like that, so that we are going to see, especially in drilling area or drilling site. The H₂S is causing a more bad effects on material, okay. Then finally we are going to talk about prevention measure, how to prevent this and how to be safer in order to avoid the problems through the inhalation of H₂S. So H₂S is the sour gas. Another name is sour gas. Sometimes it also called as a sewer gas, because even in a drainage system or sewage system we can find the traces of H₂S, hydrogen sulphide. Even in a fertilizer unit, chemical plants, even leather factories. So in those pipeline, in those processing vessels, we can get exposed to the hydrogen sulphide. And moreover, in oil and gas sector like drilling, processing, petrochemical processing unit, so even in pipeline, cross-country pipeline which is carrying the hydrocarbon, oil transmission, gas transmission, so everywhere which is related to the oil and gas or chemical, petrochemical, even in leather factory or any biological elements which is decomposing, so that also causing a hydrogen sulphide gas. So that's why I called it as a sewer gas, or even in a drainage system, sewage system, we can find it is danger to enter without any safety PP, personal protective equipment, because this gas can cause even deaths, okay. Then it is a colorless gas. It doesn't have any color and it is highly toxic, and it also stops the neural system, or even the heart will be stopped. It is a very fatal gas when it goes to when the concentration level is very high, okay. So at lower concentration, initially we could get rotten egg smell, some kind of a rotten egg smell, or a bad smell we get. So in higher concentration we cannot feel the smell or sense the smell, because at very lower level we can get the rotten egg smell. But when the concentration goes higher and higher, the smelling sense will be cut off, because the gas directly touched the smelling sense of the neural system, and so that we couldn't trace it with the help of smell, okay. So next thing is when it goes too much, it causes knockdown. So that means the people will die instantly. So this gas is a fatal gas. So you have to be very cautious about the hydrogen sulphide. It is a poisonous and inflammable gas, okay. So next thing is The byproduct of hydrogen sulfide, like sulfur dioxide also will come. So that also, these gases like hydrogen sulfide, if we have to collect those gas in that affected area or leaking area, and then we have to remove it from the atmosphere by burning in the flare. There is a thing called flare, so I'll be explaining that. So hydrogen sulfide, when we are exposed to like almost 700 to 10,000 ppm, parts per million, so it can cause sudden death, or if it is around 40,000 ppm, it may cause explosion. Okay, so mostly in oil and gas wells, processing unit, and it is having a more hazardous effect on the health as well as to the people who are working in the oil and gas sites. Okay, so if you see here, less than 1 ppm, you will get Rotanex smell, and like 50 ppm, irritated eyes, throats, irritated throat, sore throat you will get. So some biological effects you can see, like up to 100 ppm somewhat is okay, because we can recover the people who are affected by the H₂S. But when it goes beyond 250, risk of fatality is high, because at 250 ppm breathing difficulty starts, vomiting, nauseating. Then 500 ppm we lose the balance and people will fall down, like we call it as a convulsion. So they get giddiness, and suddenly they fell on the ground, they lose the balance, and then by 750 or 1000, within few minutes will die, because it arrests the heart flow of blood circulation. It also arrests the lung, respiratory system, neural system. So total collapse, people will die. So here there is a chart, like in what are the different levels, little by little. It's like here 1000 to 2000, nearly instant death will happen. 700 to 1000, some few breaths after that they will die. In 500 to 700, almost 30 minutes to 60 minutes they will survive. Then 200 to 300, for about 1 hour they keep on struggling for getting a breath. Okay, so breathing difficulty, it is called as a pulmonary edema. So that type of prolonged like long exposure of that almost this much parts per million is involved in our body. So then almost we get permanent pulmonary disorders. Then by 100 to 150 we lose the smell. This is where the real danger lies. Like when we get a smell, we think that still the gas is present. When we stop feeling that Rotanex smell, we think that gas is completely evacuated. So that is wrong misunderstanding, because we have to know that only through air monitor. So using equipment and devices, we can see how much parts per million the gas is present in the atmosphere. So do not rely on smelling sense. That's the danger thing. So OSHA, Occupational Safety Health Administration, they say that almost in 8 hours, depend upon the 8-hour shift. So they have given some recommendation. So 10 ppm for 8-hour shift is somewhat is okay. Still we can find nauseating, tearing eyes, headache, loss of sleep. So we will start to get insomnia, effect of insomnia. So the sleepless nights. So the the workers or the people, staffs there, they have to report to the safety department that these other thing is going on. And sometimes they get a Rotanex smell. Sometimes after these things, what are the biological effect they get in their body, they have to report it in order to safeguard the environment and also to avoid maximum explosion, then losing people, human deaths. So, the NIOSH recommending exposure of 10 ppm for about 8-hour shift. Even if we get somewhat, we can recover from that problem and we can avoid major issues. So that's why I say never rely on sense of smell for the presence of H₂S. Okay, so effect of H₂S, we have a low concentration, moderate concentration, high concentration. High concentration, shock, convulsion, inability to breathe, rapid unconsciousness. That's what people will fail, lose balance. They go to coma, or finally the death will happen. Then the risk of fire hazards. How this H₂S is very dangerous in the term of fire or explosion, fire emergency, fire accidents can happen. So this flammable gas can ignite at the concentration of 4% to 46% in air. Okay, so its byproduct is also another toxic gas, that is sulfur dioxide. So that is very a dangerous gas which is highly flammable, can provoke the explosion. So it is a major element involving in explosion along with H₂S. So this has to be properly disposed to the atmosphere. Not just like that, it has to be burnt and then it is exposed, just sent to the atmosphere to avoid people getting effects, like biological problem, like safety issues. To avoid those, we have a thing called flare in refinery, even oil drilling area, processing unit. So we have a flare, unwanted gases, toxic gases, byproduct, all are sent to the flare and it is burnt. So once we burn it, and it will become a smaller percentage, and when it mixes in the air, that much effect will not, or the pollution will not happen. You can see the fire accident here. The tank suddenly get exploded. So you can see in the refining unit, distillation unit, storage unit, it is getting fire. So even you can see here the rig site is already in the fire emergency happening, and the rescue ship is going there and trying to control the fire. You can see in this picture. And then here you can see the refining processing plant is catching fire. Here you can see the rig is caught fire, it is burning on. Then this is a flare which we usually dispose the gas, unwanted gas, toxic gas in a safer way by burning it in the flare. So effect of H₂S on metal, especially if you see how this gas affecting the metal in the drilling site or the pipelines. So in NACE, that is National Association of Corrosion Engineers, they're having a standard MR0175. According to the standard, if it is carrying any hydrocarbon and there is a H₂S present in it, so that can spoil the material. It can also causes embrittlement in the material, cracking can happen. So even sometimes if the pressure exceeds, explosion will take place. Even in a in-service inspection, shutdown projects is happening only to control wherever failure, leakage or presence of H₂S. So all we, periodically we conduct maintenance projects, shutdown projects, and emergency, maintenance we usually conduct in the site. So to avoid the people or to safeguard the people from any kind of life danger incidents. So do not step on hammer. So do not step on any pipeline, hammer the pipeline or piping. So sometimes it may have a H₂S, it can leak and causes a problem. Sometimes this is very sulfur is present in that, so it can cause a major corrosion. Okay, so even if there is a presence of H₂S in the oil and gas sites, it can cause corrosion in the ladders, scaffoldings, steps, stairways, or undergo corrosion. So every time we have to conduct non-destructive testing periodically in order to check everything is under control. Okay, so even the drilling fluid should not have sulfur content, or even this hydrogen sulfide should not mix into the drilling fluid, which can cause corrosion, or that drilling fluid should contain corrosion inhibitors. That means it will support the material to avoid corrosion, like resisting the corrosion. So, in API standards, you have to conduct the non-destructive testing, and you can see here, in the pipe is getting corroded. Here you can see, the metal is completely subjected into the corrosion due to the presence of hydrogen sulfide. So even the protection, how we can prevent ourselves, or the protection against the hydrogen sulfide. The first thing, when you enter a danger zone, you have to check the presence of, or the quality of air and the concentration of toxic gases, including H₂S, because H₂S is so heavy gas, it will not easily evacuated by the ventilation. So it has to be, because it will be found only in the ground level, because it will not go up, because the gas is very heavy, so only found in the ground level. So that is a very biggest risk factor in the case of handling hydrogen sulfide gas. Then if the gas cannot be removed, the person entering that confined space, like very small area, if a person is entering into it, so he should follow some necessary personal protective equipment, rescue system, communication equipment, so to communicate what is and how he is feeling in that area to the people outside, so that they will take necessary measures in order to prevent the person who is involved in detecting and evacuating this danger. So in other case, like IDLH, we say, that is immediately dangerous to life and health. That atmosphere, if you are entering, you have to use SCBA, self-contained breathing apparatus. So that is a very must thing. And also we have to use a air supplied respirator or oxygen self-contained respirators. Then even in the case of 100 ppm, air purifier respirators has to be used in added to that. Then if you find irritation, so you have to check the concentration again. So even in these are the suspect, like half mask respirator, just like a small mask or N95 mask, that is all not permitted. That will not save you from the hazardous effect of H₂S. So either you have to use a respirator or self-contained breathing apparatus, or airline to breathe when you are entering into the vessel, when you are entering into a tunnel, when you are entering into any kind of sewage system, or any tanneries area, to safeguard yourself from the H₂S, making you even hydrogen sulfide should be monitored every time, whether it is there or how much percentage it is there. Everything you have to check over. So the final thing, caution: never attempt a rescue in an area that may contain hydrogen sulfide without using appropriate respiratory protection and without being trained to perform such a rescue. The final thing is, do not do anything by yourself without having a proper training or knowledge about the H₂S. Then I'm just giving a full form of NIOSH IOS, because I have mentioned these things in the lecture, but I want to give a full form. NIOSH is National Examination Board in Occupational Safety and Health. OSHA, we already have discussed several places. Occupational Safety and Health Administration. IOSH, Institution of Occupational Safety and Health. So these are the organizations are worried about the occupational safety, or the people who are working in the site, and their safety is a primary thing for these organizations, and we have to follow their safety norms and safety precautions, proper say PPE while entering into the oil and gas site or any processing unit where there is a risk of H₂S. Thank you.